For the third consecutive week, Luka Doncic has dropped in MVP rankings on the official NBA website. While he's currently sitting in 5th place, the problem is that reasons behind this downtrend remain unknown to just about every Luka fan out there. As we all know, the media votes in the MVP award, and right now there are some quite nasty narratives resting on top of both Doncic and the Mavericks, and those narratives could be the sole reason everyone continues to neglect Luka's absolute dominance. I mean, it feels like the dude is dropping 40 almost every game, and he's still not even in the talks of getting that trophy. Over the last month, the Mavericks have literally been slapped in the face with injuries, yet they managed to stay one of the top teams in the Western Conference. Statistically, this should strengthen an MVP case, but apparently not for Doncic. And mind you, he's pretty much carrying the team night in, night out. Now, whether the media just isn't watching Luka or just truly believes some other candidates are performing that much better is one thing. The fact that Luka continues to prove all those off-season haters wrong cannot be disregarded. As the season continues, the latter is obviously going to change a lot, and some of those top contenders at the moment could fall out of the race completely. The Mavs, however, are not slowing down. In fact, they're only getting better and better, making their goals and wants clear for this season. Not only the Mavs, but Doncic also isn't showing any signs of slowing down either. He's putting up big numbers all the time, and is constantly making his MVP case stronger game by game, whether hurt or healthy. In a recent interview, he said that he's constantly in pain, but pushes through for the team and tries to win as many games as possible. It's especially hard to understand how he isn't at least a top 3, if not higher, on the leaderboard after his historic 40-point triple-double, with which he passed even the great Wilt Chamberlain. By every metric, this should make his MVP case stronger, but it didn't. In that game, not only did the Mavs win, but Luka also finished the game with 40 points, 12 rebounds, and 10 assists in 37 minutes of action, while shooting 15 out of 28 from the field. Luka now has 8 games where he posted a 40-point triple-double, and the only players ahead of him are Russell Westbrook with 13, James Harden with 16, and Oscar Robertson with 22. Given that he's already 4th on that list and not even 25 years old yet, he's probably got a solid chance of catching and probably even passing the 3 players in front of him as well. But that's not all. Luka also recently made some franchise history, where he passed Dirk Nowitzki for most 35-point games as a Maverick. Now, while this might not sound much, let's put it in perspective. Dirk played in 1,522 games over 21 seasons. Luka has only played in 355 games at the time of making this video, and is only in his 6th season in the NBA. With all the injuries happening in his team, he obviously had to turn things up a notch. With that game, he's managed to score at least 30 points in 10 consecutive games, becoming the 22nd player in NBA history to achieve that, and the 6th player to do it in the last 10 seasons. And mind you, in some of those games, he's dropping 30 in the first half alone. And we didn't even mention his insane first half triple-double yet. The Dallas Mavericks are off their best start in the Jason Kidd coaching era, and Luka is the main reason for that. He's currently averaging 32.9 points, 8.4 rebounds, and 9.1 assists per game this season, and the Mavs are currently 5th in the Western Conference at the time of making this video. Even his teammate, the veteran Markieff Morris, has openly admitted that he doesn't understand how the 24-year-old isn't leading the NBA MVP discussion, since it would only make sense. He said, "Man, I've played with some great players, but the game is just so easy for him. I've never seen somebody like damn near walk through the game. He plays the same way in practice. It's his skill. Yeah man, I don't know why he's not number 1 in the running for MVP. I just don't get it. Because he's carrying our team, scoring, rebounds, and assists on a nightly basis." And in the first 26 games played this season, he's not topped any NBA MVP lists yet, not even once. But if he can keep up the pace and keeps producing at his current rate, with the Mavericks winning more and more games, sooner or later, there will be no hiding from the truth, and eventually, someone is going to have to put him on the top. Plus, when the Mavs get fully healthy, which will give Doncic even more roster depth to work with, they're going to be a problem for the league for real. But while there are probably some mysteries hiding behind why the media doesn't like Luka, there's also something that could be part of the reason: technical fouls. During their game against the Minnesota Timberwolves, Luka received a quick technical foul in the first quarter of the game, after a play where he got fouled, but no call was made. He started the season off really well when it comes to technical fouls, but he's recently racked up his number to 7, which put him in the second place, just behind league-leading Kristaps Porzingis. Despite him receiving several technicals, Mavs coach Jason Kidd isn't concerned with the trend. The only thing he wishes is for the officiating crews to be consistent going forward. He said, "I'm not concerned. We all understand what that number is. This one was quick. Every crew is different. We have to be better. But it was a quick tee. Again, we've just got to figure out what's right and what's wrong. The clap, a lot of players do it. Some are called for a tee, some aren't. Just be consistent, that's all." He also thinks the Mavs need to start doing some more scouting reports on the officiating crews. His statement was, "Yeah, we've got to probably do a better job of doing the scouting report on each official. It's just part of the game, understanding who's quick to blow a whistle on a tee and who's not. That's part of the game." There's been a double standard going on for quite some time in the NBA, where players like LeBron James and Draymond Green are much less likely to get a technical foul than, for example, Doncic. I mean, they could at least give him a courtesy warning before blowing the whistle. Even Luka himself can't believe what's going on.
That I can't clap. I'm serious. It's crazy, man. And they took away my 3. Like, now you can get back, and they said that from New Jersey they called that it was out of bounds. So if the refs don't call it, they can go back and check. It's the first time I saw that. So I don't understand.
See, the Mavs led that game with 33-26, with 1 quarter in the books, but right after that, the officials went back to the table and decided that when Doncic hit a 3-pointer earlier in that quarter, he stepped out of bounds, so they just erased it. From that point, the Wolves couldn't be stopped, and many fans speculated it was because of the erased Luka 3-pointer, which got the team confused and a bit mad. I mean, knowing the refs can go back and randomly take away points from anyone simply because they've done something their eyes haven't caught is ridiculous, and can easily be demotivating. However, they did put an explanation for the technical foul on Doncic after the game though, and it went like this. After a no call, Luka overly gestures by hitting his hand multiple times, while yelling, "Call the foul," and aggressively walking towards the official. Now, I'm not sure whether that was an aggressive walk towards an official though, but okay. The ref also made it clear there was nothing else that Doncic said before that could have built up toward that technical being called. But then again, this wasn't the only time he's got a technical, it's just an example. In many occasions, Luka earns his tees, usually for spending entire games relentlessly complaining about no calls, or better yet, taunting his opponents. That night against the Wolves simply wasn't one of those occasions though. The truth is that if Luka and the Mavericks can avoid those situations and stop getting so many technicals, Luka could potentially climb that controversial MVP ladder a little further.